go have our coffee. Well, hey, we are live, and I am with my buddy Jack here. How's it going, Jack?
Doing very well. The coffee is good.
Yeah, this is my second cup of coffee. I'm normally not, like I was telling you like a couple minutes ago, normally not up at around this time, but it's worth it just to like kind of talk with you one on one and everything. I mean, we've known each other for like more than a year now, and like I know I helped you out with your website stuff, and we just kind of when we were when I was helping you out, we just kind of we chatted and just kind of like I thought we vibed as far as the chatting. I'm like, so
absolutely, and that's why I like working with you. You weren't just some distant IT guy where it's like, okay, Jack, what do you want? Okay, here it is. You were actually enjoyable to talk with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just like when I was working, we just kind of just talked. We were just kind of talking all a lot, because I guess, we both on a self-development thing as far, well, I guess like working, mindset and stuff, learning how to meet girls and, doing stuff, doing our own business thing, which is always good too. And so when we were, I guess when we were as working with you, we just kind of got into talking about that, and it's just like, yeah, cool, got to do that, got to definitely. Yeah. I told you I was going to do something like this, and it finally took me a year to do it, and I'm actually feel like happy that I'm like doing this now. I've done 2 streams. This is my second one. This is my first interview, but I did 1 stream already, and. And I don't know if I was telling like one of my mentors last week that I was doing like live stream. I was just like, I'm so freaking glad I'm doing this because like, I don't know, for some reason I felt good that I was doing it. I don't know why.
I think, and I don't know, maybe I'm speaking too much for you, but it's just going for it and doing what you want. Because I remember, and I still have this, by the way. It's like when people like in the outside world find your stuff, and before you even begin, it's like, yeah, I want to do it, but what if they find it and they think it's cringy and whatever? But then you jump over that hurdle and you finally start doing it, and it's not that bad. It's like, hey, people actually like what I did here. And then you get the subscribers, and you get the likes, and then you get the comments, and then you get the bitches, and then you get the power.
Right, man.
And then you get that, for lack of better term, validation of, hey, people actually value what I have to say here. Like I have a good motivation and a good reason for continuing with this. I was right. I do have something of value.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, and like the reason like I started this channel was because, for the past 2 or 3 years, I've been working on developing my mindset, taking action when it comes to like doing my business stuff and, going out trying to get good with meeting women. And, because I definitely I moved out to Arizona with my ex at the time. And, when we broke up and I moved out on my own, I just got tired of I don't know, like I was unhappy where I was with, this, like, I was happy I was able to get out of Michigan into a better place, but like, I really wanted to develop like my mindset and everything to become like, a better man, just be more assertive when it comes to talking to girls, and then, just finally taking action as far as getting out there and getting a business going for myself. And I don't know. That's kind of with this topic that I came up, like the alpha male mindset, like how can you develop it, and like what do you need to maintain it? Like I don't know. I think one of the reasons I came up to decide on this topic too is because like that's something that I'm working on developing and everything. I'd want to be more. Because I wanted to be a more confident guy, not just, by changing the mindset and the way I think about myself. I want to be more assertive and take action in my life. And so I don't know. So like, were you ever at a point in your life too, where you had that, where you said like, well, hey, I'm frustrated where I'm at with life and I want to just make a change in everything. And like, what is it
yeah.
that you did in your life to kind of like be more assertive and, work on your mindset, develop like an alpha male mindset per se, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the whole alpha beta dichotomy, but I do understand it. It's easily digestible for a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
And I am a very big proponent of the whole alpha beta thing being a mindset and not a demographic. Because a lot of guys tend to cling on to that. What is real alpha male? Well, that is Leonidas when he led the 300 Spartans, or the guy in the Navy, or name something, leader of men with a family and a beard and a pipe and a shed. And I'm like, okay, that's all fine and dandy. But then you look at Prince Harry, like monarchy, greatest monarch, well, one of the greatest monarchies in the world, the English monarchy, total simp. Was in fighter planes, you name it, the British Army, whatever, bowing down to his woman who was a divorcee of 32. It's like, no matter what you achieve, as long as you as a man bow down to somebody else, that's not really, or at least somebody of that stature, like Meghan Markle, I don't think that's alpha. I think that's still a bit looking for validation from somebody else. Yeah, that's the way I want to describe it. Like when you're, after all your accomplishments, you still seek validation from someone who really shouldn't have value in that. That to me is still beta, in all honesty.
Well, why do you think that it, like, say, like a guy can have like all these accomplishments, but like maybe when it comes to like a woman or something, why does he have to like kind of bow down to seek that validation? Why do you think that that's the problem? Like, why would someone do that?
I think most of it comes from scarcity, which is weird because it's Prince Harry. It's like, you should have been around a ton of women. But also the idealization of love, where it's like, oh, this is my one woman. I will go for her. I will sacrifice everything. There we go, sacrificial mindset, to make her happy. It is all to make somebody else except you happy. And it is also something we are being raised with. It is your job as a man to keep others happy, to support others, to make the best, to sacrifice yourself, become less so she can become better. Like a lot of boys are raised with that. And what do you get then? You get this kick-ass guy who achieves everything, but here's somebody else, well, better sacrifice all I have to let her become more. So that's mostly a societal thing, in my honest opinion.
Oh no, and it's weird. I don't know, because like, that's one thing I learned to kind of grow out of. I know, like, I kind of felt like, my first two relationships, I felt like I made a lot of sacrifices. But when I was working on this mindset, that's the one. Because I used to like have that idealization that there's like the one out there.
Same here, man. Same here, man. When I was young, it was like, oh, she's not happy. What should I do? I had girlfriends who told me, if you do not cancel your friends, I'm going to break up with you. You know what my dumb ass did? Canceled my friends because I was so scared of her breaking up with me. I mean, that happened. There's a reason I know what I know today. That was mostly because of those things. It was horrible, man. It was absolutely atrocious.
Oh, it's funny. Well, I don't think I went that far, but I've had friends where I haven't heard from them in like, a couple of months because they were with a girl and stuff, and they, the girl would say, well, you got to spend your time with me, or they always have to ask the girl if they can do something. Like,
that's a good example as well. Like, hey, are you free tonight? Well, gotta ask the boss.
Yeah. Well, to me, and that shows like lack of confidence in yourself, though. If you gotta, I mean, if you're going back to the validation thing. Like, if you got to seek approval from a woman you're in a relationship with, that to me is lack of confidence. Like, you should be able to do as a man. Like, especially in a relationship, you should be able to have the freedom to do what you want, and you can have that confidence to tell the girl, well, hey, hey, I got to do this, nothing you can do about it. But
that's a good point, Robert. It is lack of confidence in her attraction in you. Mm-hmm. That's how I always viewed it. Like when I say no, she's gonna like me less. Why? Like, you should be able to say no to someone. Your self-worth is not dependent on you saying yes or no. Mm-hmm. But a lot of guys who don't have confidence do think that. They're like, oh, people, as long as I say yes, people will like me. There's a great book out there, When I Say No, I Feel Guilty, that goes very deep into this. It kind of have to do with emotional manipulation, where some people, when you do say no, will start getting emotional with you. Like, oh, you just don't like me, just don't want me, things like that. But when you have confidence enough in yourself, you can see it for what it is. You're like, no, I just have something to do, and then I'll get back to you. Like, there are priorities here, like long-term, short-term thinking. But guys who, have that low self-esteem think like, oh, well, maybe she's the only one I have, and I don't know if I can get another one. Goes back to scarcity. So they want to keep her around and they want to keep her happy. Mm-hmm. And with that, sacrificing themselves, which, ironically, turns out not to make her very happy.
Yeah, right. And, there's always, like, confrontation going on, like, back and forth. But, no, you have a good point, like, because I remember, like, one time, so I had a friend, I play guitar with all the time. This is when I got out of my first relationship. Like, I didn't have my first relationship until I was 21, and, like, I came from that scarcity mentality. And, like, I remember, like, when I broke up with the girl, like, I'd still, like, when she called, like, oh yeah, she's gone, let's go hang out, or if she wanted me to do this, I got to do it. And I had a hard time saying no, at one time, but she would still get very frustrated with me. And friend, like he said to me, Rob, it's okay to say no. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish.
And, yeah, that is a very good way of phrasing it.
Exactly. And I don't know, I started doing that. It took me a while to make it like a habit, but I realized when you, when you say no, or just be, if you speak your truth to someone, sometimes they'll be okay, they're cool with it, or sometimes they get really pissed off at you. I think it's when they get pissed off at you, it's more of their problem. If you're being, truth, like, especially to like a girl, if you're being truthful to them about what it is you want to do, if you don't want to do this or do that, or I got this going on, and if they give you crap about it, I think it's something wrong with them. Because if you're just being honest with them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And especially in the case when you're truthful about what you want. A lot of guys who lack confidence have trouble with that as well. Like, you know what, I'll be her friend first, and then she'll like me. And then they waste all this time being friendly only because they want to get in her pants. While all the while, if they were just honest about it, like, hey, I think you're cute and I want to have a drink with you, see where this can be going. No. And save a lot of time when she says no. Mm-hmm. They're afraid of that. Not looking at the return on investment on that. Because if she says yes, you at least get what you want. If she says no, well, good. Then you can waste time on somebody else. Not necessarily waste, but spend time on somebody else.
Well, no, that's true. And it's weird because I see that I had this one friend too, like, and she has a lot of guy friends. And at first, actually, I met her online and we had a date. We went on a date, and then, like, our second date, we went to, like, Las Vegas and everything. This is what I was still living with my ex-girlfriend at the time.
Oh, nice.
But me being, I was, I fucked up by telling this girl that I have still living with my ex. For some reason, I felt like I had to be honest, and, like, I still went to Vegas with her. But she's like, I'm on my period, so I won't be able to do anything. So right after I told her that.
It just happens.
Yeah, right?
magically it happens,
And,
or her dog dies.
and like I think it wasn't too long ago. I was just giving her shit about that, because like I said, I've been kind of feel more comfortable being direct with people, and just joking around. I have a kick-ass sense of humor, and that's the one thing too that I used. I won't get up too far off the subject, but that's one thing too. Like when I first go meet girls, like I wouldn't be afraid to show let my sense of humor run rampant, and I realized as I kind of took small steps to say, hey, I'm just going to say this and not give a fuck. And I realized most of the time the response is like really good. It wasn't as bad as I was projecting, because it's all a mindset thing too.
It's outcome independence is what it is. You're comfortable enough with yourself to know that when things go wrong, it'll all be okay. Because you as a person won't devalue or be less of a man or of a person, whatever, no matter what happens.
Yeah, well, I think that's what makes a guy more confident when you're and it's like, again, it's a habit that you got to continue to work on, is this like not being outcome independent. I mean, because I think as guys, I think we're more focused on the results and stuff, especially when we're learning how to get good with women. Like I was telling you, when I was working with this dating coach, and he was teaching me how to go approach girls during the day. Like I was saying, I was frustrated because I was like I was going talking to the girls and getting the numbers, but the dates weren't there. And I was just I really got down on myself about that. Instead of like realizing, taking a step back and assessing what it is I can do different next time. Maybe it was the way I did my approach. Maybe I should. Maybe I just have to go in with the mindset. Okay, well, she just wasn't interested. It's 2020, So she probably got a couple other guys lined up.
This is one of those rare occasions where the year is in fact an argument. Like you hear that all the time. Like, it's 2020, man. We don't do that anymore. I'm like, that has nothing to do with it. But in these cases where it's like, yeah, dude, it's 2020. She has a cell phone. She has dating apps. She has social media. Yeah, that's a good argument. But you're 100% right, and I like the way you phrased it, because there's a lot going on with the dating market is completely wrecked. We're all hopeless. We're all gonna die. We're never gonna score. And then you came along, Robert, and you said, well, you know what? I just look at my interactions, I look at my approaches, and I ask myself what could have gone better. And that is actually the way, I think, to look at it. Yeah, it's rough out there, absolutely, but there's no reason not to improve. Absolutely not. And in some cases, it's not you. It really is her. It's like whatever, dog died or family member or SARS or whatever's the hype right now.
Oh yeah, now it's the beer bug.
Yeah, it's like all kinds of things can happen. All kinds of things. But it shouldn't demotivate you, because as a guy, it doesn't devalue you. Like there's still some girl out there who it will click with, but you're never going to find her if you're going to sit there and think, oh, everything is hopeless.
No, exactly. No, you gotta be persistent in this. Like, and I realized that, like, so I've had I think May through August, I was on a roll. I was on fire with the online apps. I met 2 girls during the day during this what's going on, and still managed to go have a date. I mean, the 2 girls I met during the day, nothing came out of it, but the online ones did. And then come August, at the end of August, it's pretty much September through like, I don't know, halfway through October, like nothing was working on the dating apps. Nothing, the daytime approaches weren't doing good. And I think it's just like, yeah, you gotta be confident in yourself to, keep on going and not give up.
Absolutely. And not only with like the girls, but in business and things as well. And you just mentioned, like, have you ever been at a point where you weren't happy with where your life is at?
Yeah.
I'm up there all the time, where it's like, okay, I accomplished this, but I can do better. What's the next step? What are we going to do now? 1,000 subscribers, fine. What do I need to do to get to 10K? Same with weightlifting. I have been chasing that 225 bench for years.
Mm-hmm.
But for some odd reason, I just can't get it. I don't know what it is. Genetics, whatever. Now, I have to be honest about that. I want to weigh under 74 kilos to get that.
Okay.
So when it comes to weightlifting, things like that, personal weight, body weight, sorry about that, is a big factor.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know it's possible. I've seen guys do it. They're a lot shorter than I am, but okay, doesn't matter. But as with all things, get out there and do it. You're going to fail, of course, but that's going to teach you something. Apparently, you haven't done it right yet.
Yes, correct.
Same with business, as I just mentioned, like with the whole YouTube thing and the whole Twitter thing, you name it. There are ways to do it, like making money online. You create websites, you and I met online, things like that. If you can make $1 online, you can make 1,000. You can just have to do that $1 thing 1,000 times, or you do a $10 product 100 times. You know the drill. But it's kind of like that. If you can make one, you can make more. You just have to look at the formula and multiply it in one way or another. But it's usually that $1 that a lot of people don't make, where it's like, I don't know, I'm afraid of people judging me, and I don't know if I'm good enough or whatever. If they just step over that hurdle, which is hard, the first one's the hardest, and start doing, you'll be surprised how far you can get. And after that, it's just keep going. I found out a while back, I was a Masculine Geek, and Richard Cooper was there as well. I found out Richard Cooper's channel did not hit off until 3 years.
Wow.
I thought he was one of these, how do you call that? That overnight successes. I thought he was one of those guys where it's like, oh, he uploads the video, high quality SEOs. He's like, no, man, 3 years. After that, then it took off. I was like, see, consistency. Keep going.
Exactly. You know, and that's the same with Jonathan from Modern Life Dating. I mean, like it took him a while for his channel to get started. And I was talking to him too, like, you know, any tips you can give me for a first-time YouTube live streamer? He said persistence.
Bingo.
And he said, and I texted him back, and I'm like, so you're saying I pretty much got to apply the same principles and mindsets that I use to pick up girls to do my business stuff.
Bingo. Well, absolutely. Just have to keep going. Keep going. Like, I did narrations for Gendernomics, the audiobook by Black Label Logic. The first time I did that, I was so surprised. Like, holy shit, I made money online. I did it. What's preventing me from making more? Me. It's the only thing, because people apparently are interested in my narrations. People are interested in your website building. You got it once. You can do it again. Same thing with girls. Bloody hell, man. Like, if you can get one number off the streets, you can get 10. If you can get one date off of Tinder, you can get 10.
Yep.
Multiply it. And again, it's that first one that people rarely get because they quit after a rejection.
Exactly. Well, you know, so I was learning. So as a web designer, like I reached out to someone in Italy who had a successful web design business, and he actually took the time to sit down with me and tell me how to do some cold emails and everything. The process he went through. And so I had a couple sessions with him. I did the process. I had to send out probably, and I paid someone I paid someone $90 on Fiverr. I got like about 10,000 emails in my local area for companies. So I probably did about, freaking 200 emails. Then I got, after that, I got 2 leads, 2 clients, and that gave me a $3,000 return out of that $90.
I mean, that's insane, right? But
yeah.
You did it.
Yeah, I know, man. Like, but see, it's just like that persistence, and like I too was kind of trying to figure out like, okay, I got a website. My website's optimized, but it's very competitive in my area as far as like website design. How can I be different from the other people? So I had to, sit back and think, well, how can I reach out to people in my area? What can I do to market myself? And so, I mean, that's what I had, just like talking about, like, you fail at something. Well, you didn't exactly fail. You just didn't quite get there. You're doing something wrong. You had to take it and refine it.
Bingo. Exactly.
And have you had something similar to that too with, when you were starting out?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I had that with personal training.
Okay.
Where I made schedules for people where I was like, they're not progressing. What am I doing wrong? Something is wrong. And then you have to look at the formula a bit. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. The increments are way too high, or the volume is too high, or sometimes the volume is too low. Sometimes it's their diet. Sometimes it's their sleep. You name it. These are all things you have to factor in. What else? My God, man. With YouTube, even. Like, I've made videos where I'm like, why the hell did I make that? Why did I do it? We're going to do that again. My first podcasts, absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible.
What did you like about it?
I was still an anon, so I had this horrible drawing I had a friend of mine made for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was no direction or whatever. Like, I had a topic. Like, the topic was a book. But it was an hour long. I don't even know how I did that. An hour long, and it just keep going. Go on, go on, go on, go on, go on, go on. Now, I might not like it. And as we all know, like, we ourselves are our biggest critics, something like that. But apparently it resonated with people.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it resonated with people. So I just kept going. And when it comes to personal training and things like that as well, you have to offer it to people. So, another thing with YouTube, like, I have that memberships area.
Okay.
Or subscribers even, or the like button. You have to advertise yourself. There is reason to madness in this case. There is a reason most YouTubers in the beginning of their videos say, smash that like button and subscribe. Because it makes people think. It's like, hey, wait a minute, I haven't done that. Like, how much effort does that take? Smashing a like button. By the way, people who watch this, smash the like button.
Yeah, smash that like button.
Subscribe, things like that. And it makes people think. But you need to keep doing that. Otherwise, people won't know what to do. And I made a joke about this on my own live stream a while back, but it's true. It's a very weird psychological thing because most people just watch the YouTube video. But they don't think about the algorithms and the competition out there, and you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is mostly determined by likes and views.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to keep attending people to that. Same as cold email. How can anybody know you're out there if you're not putting yourself out there?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And for my own content and things like that, I prefer to use Twitter. Because growing a Twitter account isn't that hard. You just have to call a lot of people stupid, and the right people. None that come to you. It's like, hey, you think you're stupid too? Yeah. It's like, cool. But if you don't, people will never find you.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just reading this comment by Bo Rush. It's funny, if you don't have a set of D cups, so you got to do the work. I'm thinking,
man, if I were a woman, I'd be a millionaire. I would capitalize the ever-loving crap out of that.
Yeah. So that's true. You got to just keep at going at things, refining stuff. But why do you think it is like when most people like work on towards something in life, maybe after trying it a few times, why do they give up? Do you think it's just they don't have that mentality to move forward? Or do you think it's this?
I think they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to sound very cringy, but there's an old saying, like, what happens if I fall? But my dear, what happens if you fly?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't ask themselves, what if I fly?
Yeah, that's right.
And I think, and again, it's like a bit of a Hallmark quote, like postal card, Christmas card quote, but it's true. A lot of people don't see the actual return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
They only see the risk. But the thing is, the higher the risk, the higher the reward.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And you know what's funny though? Like, whenever people, sometimes I hear that as an excuse too, when some people don't want to work towards a goal that they have. Well, I just don't want to do it because I'm afraid I'm going to fail. And you know what? When I think about doing some, like, I think about failing, but it's that drive that pushes me.
I have the same thing, man. Like, what if I fail? Good. That means I've got something to learn. That means it's not over. Because if there's one thing that's absolutely boring, this is going to sound very paradoxically, but it's achieving a goal. I hate that. Where it's like, shit, I don't have anything to do anymore. Like, damn it, I have to work for that again. And I had that in powerlifting. I had that epiphany a while back because I used to do amateur powerlifting, and I was so fixated on a 315 squat. And I nearly got it, and I was like, this is stupid. Because if you're not a top level athlete, the only people your results matter to is you. And the biggest factor in lifting in general, sorry about that, is you being better than you were before. And especially in lifting, the only person you can compare your training schedule to is your own. You can't, like, I cannot lay my training schedule next to Eddie Hole's and be like, oh, he's way better than I am. Like, look at my progress. It's not going well. I mean, dude's been world's strongest man in 2017. Of course it's not going to compare. That is really something you can only compare yourself to your own last training session.
No, you're right though, because I think too, when people are working on something like towards a goal or something, or like powerlifting, they compare themselves to other people,
and they shouldn't.
And they shouldn't. Like I felt that same way. Like when I going after all the stuff just listening to a lot of dating channels and stuff and what's out there. I'd be like, oh, I can't get this girl because I'm not like 6 feet tall and stuff like that. You can't have that mindset. I still get that from time to time. I'm like, there's this gorgeous girl I want to see. I'm like that thought comes in the head, and sometimes I'm able to let go of it and just take action. But I think you got to take action and not think, because if you just think too much, it's going to take you from keep taking action. And it's when you take the action, you got to just take a deep breath and take the action right there to do it. Because if you get caught in thinking, you're gonna like fuck up. And that's the same when you're working on anything. Like if you got to think of you got to plan shit out. But I mean, if you think about like failing, the more you think about that, that's just gonna grow. Like like the compound effect. You're gonna just grow, thinking negative thoughts, and then you're gonna
exactly
in the real world.
The compound effect. Oh my God. Thank God you brought that one up, Robert.
Okay.
Because that's the same thing with lifting and YouTube and you name it. Who said that? Was that Einstein? The compound effect is the 8th world wonder. Same with investing. Let's say you invest $50 every week. That is going to pile up. That is going to grow. And it keeps on growing as long as you're consistent. And by the time you did that for 40 years, you are going to have a ton of money.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But because you were consistent. Now, with the powerlifting, like I haven't given up on my goal, but I was like, you know what? I changed the goal. It's like, if I just say I want to be better than last time, that 315 squat is going to happen one way or another. Why let the 315 be the squat? Because as soon as I reach that, it's going to be like, oh, I achieved my goal. Now what? Then you become stagnant. Stagnation is the death of progress.
Well, that's why you got to challenge yourself to something bigger than before.
Bingo. So why not make the goal in training, that is, better than I was before? Because then you're going to reach those milestones anyway, because they're in there.
Exactly. Well, like going back to the whole like learning to get good with girls thing. I know I bring this up a lot, but like when I
that's okay.
like it's very similar because like I remember my mentor, like he had me just go say hi to girls, starting out, and then I do like the opening a girl afterwards, and then I go for a number. But then he would challenge me to go in, like he actually challenged me to walk into a Victoria's Secret or a makeup shop and talk to girls.
Was that Paul Anka?
That wasn't him, but it was another guy in Canada, a very good guy. And he's going to be on this show later on. I've asked him about it because like he's had a significant impact on my life, and I've seen a lot of development while working with him. But like it's just weird because like that was uncomfortable to walk into a makeup store or Victoria's Secret. It was just the mindset, but I did it. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but it helped me like reach another level, like and break out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, that's the compound effect as well. Like the more girls you approach, the easier it gets because you've already done it before. And when you do it in a Victoria's Secret or whatever, like how more awkward can it get?
Yes, exactly. But and that's you can do the same thing with business stuff. Say okay, say you're only making like a certain amount of money with your business or getting like I'm a web designer, so I only got a certain amount of like maybe 2 or 3 clients. What can I do to put myself out there? What can I do differently? And you just got to like just by taking action and implementing your strategies.
Bingo.
I mean, it's gonna eventually you're gonna manifest that shit into your life, and like you'll definitely get that result. But it just takes the persistence and doing the right taking the right actions. If you take the negative actions, you're gonna go down like you are gonna do the failure with the mindset. Not keep doing the same thing over and over again. Einstein, you hear that quote, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So you definitely got to I think you got to, when something doesn't go right, like I said earlier, reassess it and see what it is you can do different next time, because that thing you do different might get you to the next level.
Yeah, you have to be malleable. You have to be reflective on your failures. Like, you can't be some spurg and say, well, I'm just going to fail 100 times and maybe I'll succeed one. No, you have to look at every failure and ask yourself, what can I do better? Mm-hmm. Also, confidence mindset, knowing when you're wrong. A lot of people don't know that. When they're wrong, it's like, no, I'm always right. No, you're not. No, you're not. There's nobody in the world who's always right in everything. Maybe some rare one person on this planet I never heard of. But everybody has an area of expertise, and everybody has an area of internship, being a beginner. And you have to be able to humble yourself to that point where it's like, I don't know anything about this, but this person does, so I better listen to it. And I have to acknowledge I failed in this. There is a reason why I failed in this. What can I do better to become better? And that's what I mean. As soon as you have that success, then you're going to say, hey, it worked. Now we're just going to multiply that. And maybe you're going to fail again by then. And you're like, hey, maybe you know what? This equation isn't as perfect as I thought. Back to the drawing board. So 48 laws of power. What's law 48? Be like water. Be fluid. Don't let it be set in stone. You have to be open to new possibilities and things like that. But a lot of people are very rigid. Like, same with day game. Okay, let's get the girls. Paul Janka. I just discovered him via Troy Francis. By God, man, have you seen him? Paul Janka?
No, I haven't. I'll have to check it out later today.
Holy shit, man. Paul Janka's amazing. Just walks up to her like, hey, think you're cute. What's your number? I don't have time for bullshit. He doesn't say bullshit, but it's like, I don't have time to talk to you right now, but I want to take you out. Interested? No? Bye. You see him just walk away in mid-sentence. Where it's like, he gets the vibe of her that she's not interested. That middle of the conversation just walks out. It's like, nope, don't have time for this. But he's so determined. He's so determined with all of it. But it works for him because he's confident enough to just walk up, be direct, do it. He's in the middle of New York. And looks-wise, he's pretty much in the top 10%. I mean, I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
Doesn't mean if you don't look like him, it can't work. But there's multiple things for him that work. He's in a hell of a crowded area. New York City, of course people don't have time.
Yeah.
I've never been, but I've seen the pictures and I've seen some videos where it's like, that city really does never sleep. So when you walk up to a girl there and you say, I don't have time, she's going to believe you. But if you're going to do that in bumfuck Idaho, where it's like nothing's going on, and you walk up to a girl like, hey, I don't have much time, she's like, yeah, where are you going?
Mm-hmm.
Really? So again, you have to adapt those things. But that's why there are so many dating coaches out there, because there's methods to all sorts of situations. Troy Francis, great guy. He's one of those guys where I'm like, this is almost always can always be implemented in a certain situation. Mm-hmm. John MLD is great on the internet dating sites. Yes, mm-hmm. He likes to use Instagram and things like that. Now, I personally have never had to use Instagram, but I've seen the girls he's dealing with. I'm like, yeah, mm-hmm. Those girls are status focused or whatever. Like, I won't say they're gold diggers or whatever, but that's their scene. It's a certain scene they're in. Take music scene is a big one. Instagram scene, cars, whatever hobby you have, there's a scene in there. This is why also like alpha is a mindset, not a demographic. In a certain scene, you can be the top dog, while in another one you're not. Mm-hmm. Just be the best in what you like, and you'll get that status. Mm-hmm. But you have to know where and when you can do what works.
Everyone has their own way of doing things that works for them. That's what you're saying, right?
Exactly. And it doesn't hurt knowing anything about everything. Know what I mean? Like, you have to know a little bit of something about everything.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Especially in these days, like what works good on dating apps, what works good on Instagram, what works good in real life, day game, night game, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, have a and you have to excuse me on this one. I don't know the proper translation, but like, you know those fishing things, the what's it called? The tool you use to go fishing.
Oh, a fishing pole.
Yeah, like you can have a fishing pole in all ponds. Mm-hmm. And that is a very rough translation.
That's okay. That's okay.
You have to throw your net out everywhere and be adaptable.
Yeah, not stick to one thing. Like, don't throw all your, like, kind of saying, like, don't throw your eggs all into one basket. Spread them out a bit.
Bingo. Absolutely. Same counts for fitness. I mean, okay, there are 3 basic principles you have to abide by. But other than that, there are so many ways you can gain muscle, lose fat, whatever. Be it slower, be it faster, be it CrossFit, be it strongman, powerlifting, whatever else do we got? Like home workouts, calisthenics, you name it. But those ways aren't the be-all, end-alls. They work because they abide by those 3 principles. Mm-hmm. And same with dating. Are you confident? Are you representable? Are you socially capable, which is very important in all the aspects? You cannot be good in online dating and be a spurg in real life, because that's not going to end well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why I kind of like, I did a lot of the online dating, but I was, I did work with a few people who taught me how to refine my online dating, but I also wanted to do like more social too, just so I can, branch out in different areas. And that's what I do with my business stuff as far as my marketing too. You got to branch it out in different places and see where the best hits are. And like, it just sucks with everything that's gone on this year. You can't do much of the nighttime and daytime stuff, but I still try to do a little bit of the daytime stuff. Well, I still do that. But it's different now, I feel. And hopefully, like, in another year, everything's can like, go back to normal, because I like doing the social stuff, because that's like something I was working on. I mean, I like doing the online apps, but I don't know. I just feel it's better just to have that face-to-face interaction.
It's not the same, man. Like the in-person interaction is so much more fun. You actually get those You actually still get those butterflies where it's like, hey, new person, like new girl, I really think is attractive. I'm just going to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she talks back and you're like, this is going well. Nice. And I still get excited every now and then where it's like when that happens. But when it's on an online app, like, you got a new match, it's like, oh, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you don't see anything. You don't feel anything. It's letters on the screen, and then she's in front of you, and you're like, yeah, we both know why you're here. It's like, it's kind of taken the humanity out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My honest opinion. And, yeah. It really is like, how good of a picture can you take? And at a certain point, your picture can't get any better. Like, man, it's like, I'm not going to get plastic surgery to get a good profile picture.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Nope.
They got apps for that. You probably do some plastic surgery.
Yeah, I know the face app thing.
Mm-hmm.
I tried that once and nothing changed. So apparently I'm too handsome for that thing. So.
Oh, man. Got it. But no, I know. I kind of I do think a lot of especially the online dating stuff that, especially with the ladies, it's kind of make them, less social, more awkward in social situations when guys approach them. But I mean, it's still not an excuse to give that up. But I think everyone's on these apps these days. Everyone's become socially retarded.
Yeah. Well, funny you should say that, because there's an entire space for men to improve themselves. All the while I'm sitting on these dates like, don't you girls have a book on how to talk to men or something? Because, I mean, you need some practice. Even, sometimes I even call them out on it, and this is the part of the conversation. And then you just start laughing. But some of these girls, and maybe it's like they're just not interested in you. Yeah, I want to believe that. But at a certain point, I'm just like, you know what? I truly think there's something wrong with a certain generation's social skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you're finally off the phone. Interact. Good. It's like...
Yeah,
sometimes, I mean, again, there is no space for women like the manosphere.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't. Yeah, there's red pill women on Reddit, but there's old 35-year-olds who never got a husband. It's like, oh, now I have to get some. No, that's just not there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you were saying.
No, I lost my train of thought. Let me see if I can. I'm still waking up here. But no, okay, yeah, I was gonna say, but I say some ladies though, I think can be, for some ladies I've talked to have been very social, but I mean, on the dates they can be social, and even when I've done the nighttime and daytime, some have been social, but it's just weird. Some of the girls I've approached during the day, mostly it feels socially awkward for them to have some. They said I never had someone talk to me before. They look at you, I can't give you your number because you're a stranger. I'm like, well, talk to me, But I don't beg. I just look at it. Hey, if you're not showing me interest, I'm not going to waste my time because I value my time. And so I just go on to the next person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I talked to Troy Francis a while about this, where on these online dating apps as well, have an entire conversation, and then you get to okay, what's your number so we can plan the date? I don't give up my number that fast. I'm like, and why are you here? Oh, not necessarily the number or plan a date. I don't go out on dates that fast. For you, by the way, always add for you on that one. Because there's probably some other guy out there who's within a text message, he's like, oh, here I am. Here's my home address.
Yeah, right. No, that's true. That's
as a man who values his time, you need to know that. And you need to stop dealing with that. One no, done. Especially with something simple as a number. It's when she says, I don't give up my number that fast, maybe do a clever remark, but after that is just done. Move on.
Exactly. Well, hey, Jack, I gotta wrap things up soon because I gotta get ready to go to work here.
Yes.
I want to thank you for coming on here, and I think this has been a good conversation, and I definitely would like to do another stream with you next month because it's I think we can talk about some killer shit. I feel the vibe is there. Very awesome.
Yeah, no, that would be fun. That would be fun, Robert.
Cool.
Thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, and hey, everyone, thanks for tuning in, and please be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video. I got a lot more great interviews coming up, and I got a lot of other just vlogging videos I'll be doing, and I'm also going to start setting like challenges for myself that I'm just doing on these YouTube streams just to kind of have like the world out there, to like hold me accountable for it, because I said I'm doing it on YouTube, but yet I by doing that I want to like inspire others to like freaking take action too and hold themselves accountable. Because I believe like it's good to like kind of work on your mindset and everything, and get to the next level in your life, and evolve as being into a better guy. Yeah,
100% agree, man. Go for it. Have at it.
Awesome. Well, hey, Jack, you enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you very much, guys, and we'll be on soon. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later, people. Smash that like button.
Smash that like.